Hello everyone, welcome to Prompt with Pal. Let's talk about a question which every business leaders ask. Are we actually performing as expected or just reacting to numbers? Because most organizations today forecast sits in one system, actuals live in another, and insights, well, they depend on how much time someone has to analyze it all. So now imagine this, instead of manually stitching together Excel sheet, reports, dashboards, you simply ask Copilot, how did we perform against our forecast this quarter and what's driving the variance? And within second, it doesn't just pull the data across system, it connects the dot, it highlights the trends, explains the deviation, and even helps you simulate what happens next. This is where Copilot shifts from being a productive tool to becoming a decision-making partner. In this episode, we are going to explore how Copilot brings together forecast versus actuals, operational signals, and scenario planning all in one unified conversational experience. Let's see it in action. Let me walk you through a real scenario. In my role, imagine I wear multiple hats. From preparing and analyzing the cash flow to tracking a large customer payment and reconciling accounts. And what you see here is my cash flow report comparing forecast versus actual. Because we all know cash flow isn't just a number, it's the lifeline of the business. If more money is going out than coming in, it directly impacts how we operate, invest, and grow. And the moment actual comes in, the question becomes, where did we deviate from the plan and why? Now, a December actuals just came in, and like every month, there is a difference between what we expected and what actually happened. Traditionally, this meant spending days going across the multiple systems, reviewing the spreadsheet, and trying to piece together the story. And those delays directly impact business decision. This is where Copilot for Finance changes everything. Right within Excel, Copilot understands the financial context, the relevant data set, and what I'm trying to analyze. It can even bring in additional data sources like transactional level report. So instead of manually stitching data together, I simply ask, show me the variance between forecast and actual with percentage deviation. And within seconds, Copilot gives me a clear summary. It highlights the key variants, explains what's driving them. For example, customer payment have declined by around 10%, but it doesn't stop there. It shows that large customer segments are underperforming while smaller ones are exceeding the expectation. This is no longer just reporting. This is interpreted insight. Now I go deeper. I break this down by customers and instantly I can identify the root cause. Fabricam is driving the drop in the payments. At this point, I can generate summaries, add commentaries, and share insights with the stakeholders all directly within Excel. But identifying the issue is only half the job. To close the book, I need to recover those payments. So I move to Outlook. Copilot brings in the full context, the customer history, the outstanding balance, prior interactions, and drafts a follow-up email for me. All I do is review and send. But here's where things get interesting. Customer responds saying there's no outstanding payment on their end, and they attach their invoice report. Now we have a classic situation. Two systems, two different versions of truth, and traditionally, this is where hours of reconciliation begins. And now I bring back Copilot into the process. I simply ask it to reconcile the data. The Copilot pulls the information from the financial system, aligns it with customer file, and performs intelligent mapping. Within a moment, it generates a reconciliation report. At this point, let's pause and really interpret what we are seeing. This report is structured into matched transaction, unmatched transactions, and potential matches. From financial perspective, this is critical because reconciliation is not just about errors, it's about understanding the cash realization, timing, and accuracy. And now one number stands out immediately, 530K variance. So let's break that down. Copilot pinpoints the exact invoice ID, date, amount, and here is a key insight. The invoice exists in our system, but not in the customer's records. So this is not a timing delay, this is a visibility gap, which means the cash is recoverable, but action is required. This is where the impact becomes real. 513K delay affects working capital, liquidity planning, and the investment decision. For example, this could directly influence whether we moved forward with the new initiative or hold back. Now, with Copilot in Outlook, I also see the customer's aging profile. This helps me understand, is this a one off issue or part of the larger pattern? And in this case, it gives me confidence that this is a specific discrepancy, not a systematic risk. With this insight, I use Copilot to draft a response. This time including the missing invoice, the supporting details, and full context. So I can follow up immediately and recover the payment. What started as a variance in spreadsheet turned into a deeper investigation, a reconciliation challenge, and a potential risk to cash flow. But with Copilot, I was able to identify the issue, understand the root cause, reconcile across the system, and take action immediately, all within the flow of my work. And that's the real shift. Not just faster analysis, but connected, intelligent decision making. Because when insights and actions come together, that's when business truly moves forward. So, what we just saw is not just faster reporting, it's a shift in how decisions are made. From static dashboard to a dynamic conversation, from insight analysis to a forward looking insight. When Copilot can connect your financial data, operational signals, and business data, it doesn't just tell you what has happened, it helps you understand why it happened and what to do next. And that's the real transformation, not just visibility, but clarity, not just data, but direction. Because in the world where data is everywhere, the real advantage lies in how quickly you can turn it into a meaningful action. So thank you for joining today. Stay connected. See you next time for more such updates. Thank you.